And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you took that moment to drain your disruptors, stretch your roaches, and hydrate all of your hydras, because we are back with another TvP.
Yeah, we are a very different TvP, I would have to imagine, but we'll see what unfolds in front of us. For starters, we're not ending the series, but starting it on Ancient Cistern. We're over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He is somehow still currently teamless. We have GuMiho.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have as opponent, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Nice.
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 Now already things are starting off very, very different here. GuMiho not going for a proxy.
Yeah. You're like, he's crazy, Bobby. The Rax is back. Is this normal? Is this what Terrans do?
I mean, this is so far back. It's gonna be a disadvantage.
It's true. It's too far back for the Reaper to really do much damage. So why is he even making it? It makes no sense.
And I mean, the SCV, you know, it's gonna take a while to get to the other side and build the bunker as well.
It's crazy. He's gonna go for a CC before bunker.
What? That's gonna delay that bunker for so long. And now he's throwing down the supply depot?
Oh my god. Este, this is why he's teamless. So we're getting into game one, as we're alluding to, economic opener here out of GuMiho, which is a little bit out of the norm. I feel like we know GuMiho for having a bit of a reputation for being a wild player, and there it is. We have a Tech Lab, we have a Rax. This is the beginnings of a 3 Rax here from GuMiho.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting map to go for a 3 Rax on, especially a 3 Rax that isn't proxied, as you know, the rush is just gonna take quite a while compared to a lot of these other maps, but at the same time, that's also what makes it surprising.
Yeah.
eBay getting thrown down. GuMiho is super dedicated to this.
Oh my god, very fast engineering bay. I'm really curious if this is going to be a 3x or a 2-on-1. If you remember, the 2-on-1 in this matchup did kind of spark and rise up in popularity at the start of the year for like a couple of weeks, for like a month before it kind of fell off again. So that could be something that GuMiho is looking towards, as we have the first Reaper still dipping between the bases. Does scout and confirm that Stargate.
Yeah, either way for GuMiho, whatever he hits with, he wants to hit fast and he wants to hit hard. Does confirm that Stargate, as you were saying, so this could throw a little bit of a wrench in his plans. He's just parking those Marauders out front.
Oh, yeah, exactly. He doesn't have Concussive Shell, but Marauders are a great unit to catch either Stray Adepts or Stray Stalkers. The Adepts, they do commit to the Stray, they run into the Marauders, and they do force a recall. Like
so. Marauders have done their job. 3rd Rax now on the way, as well as +1 weapons. GuMiho doesn't want this game to go on for too much longer.
Yeah, so it is a 3 Rax, but as we were kind of freaking out and pointing out as well, this is a very unique version of a 3 Rax, just because of how delayed the 3rd Rax is and how heavily committed we are with our upgrades. Before that really happens, so the first Oracle gets across the map. The Mistar just barely wasn't done in time.
Yeah, this Oracle is going to have a bit of a field day. Already 3 SCVs go down. A 5th? Yes, a 5th. No! I was almost right.
He could maybe come back in, but for now only 4 SCVs go down. As you were mentioning earlier, we do have the gateway or proxy gateway on the way as well. The aggression is not stopping. We have some Adepts diving towards the natural as well.
Yeah, the last thing Nice really wants to do right now is to let up the pressure. He knows if he hangs back home, he is going to be at a pretty disadvantaged position, all things considered. I mean, you can throw down shield batteries, you can throw down a cannon or two, but Stimmed Bio is still going to make its way onto your static defenses, is still going to try to overpower all of it.
Yeah, as this is looking like a 2-base Sol-In out of Nice. If we have a look here, we have 3 gates in the main, we have 1 gate at the natural, and we have a 5th gateway out on the map as well. So 5-gate Blink Stalker follow-up after an Oracle opener. He's going to have a lot of Stalkers available, and a Revelation does catch wind of the move out. There is no third base yet. We do see a scan ahead of time. GuMiho trying to figure out what exactly is at home to defend.
You know what? It's not surprising that we see an all-in, but it is surprising that the all-in is coming from Nice. I thought that was more what GuMiho was planning to do this game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Nice, it looks like he's preparing to potentially expand here. That is spotted by GuMiho, and he sees the lack of base in general. The army is still hanging back here as GuMiho is waiting, is transitioning. Does have all of his upgrades, yes, but looks like we're going for an add-on swap. It looks like we're going for some medevacs.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward 3-1-1 coming out from GuMiho, but we'll see if it works.
Yeah, again,
I definitely think there's a lot of potential. He's going to have a lot of upgrades and a lot of bio with medevac support.
Exactly. It's going to hit hard. I think what's also important, as we're kind of also realizing as the game goes on, is that this build from GuMiho is really quirky. It's really, it's like, yeah, it feels like there are layers to it. Like initially we were heading towards a 3x timing, but now we're transitioning into a 3-1-1. We haven't really wasted too many units yet. We haven't wasted too many Marines or wasted too many stims. Do you see some Marines are getting picked off though, as Nice does catch some of the army.
Yeah, GuMiho was feeling pretty confident that he could shave off some of the Protoss count, but in the end was forced to bring his reinforcements in. Oh, Nice has to watch his rally a little bit, though. A couple of those Stalkers did go down a little needlessly. Like so, GG.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of an overextension. A lot of Stalkers did go down. GuMiho taking a great fight, and GG gets called as Nice was not liking his chances when it comes to that counterattack.
Yeah, it seemed like a little bit of an early timing to tap out, but I think he kind of saw the writing on the wall. He clicked on the units, he saw, oh, you already have +1, and I don't have a robo bay yet, or I don't have a robo facility yet. I'm not going to be able to get anything like Immortals out in time. I'm not going to be able to get anything other than Stalkers, which will just melt to stimmed Marauders. So in the end, GG, GuMiho will be taking game number 1 after doing a build with a lot of layers, as he said. GuMiho, he's an ogre.
He is a bit of an ogre. And we also mentioned as well that Nice was pretty all-in with his opener, so he had to do more critical damage. And alas, he did not, right? He was deflected at every turn. He wasn't really able to do any economic damage at all here to GuMiho. Because he had such a delayed third base, he was on the back foot after that engagement. But now we're getting into game number 2. We have the opportunity here for Nice to bring it all back here and to bring it to the ace match.
Indeed, we do. Just like he did versus Future. If game number 3, if our ace map ends up being Royal Blood, this is just going to be a complete reversal.
There you go. It is going to be over before it really began, but here we go. We're going to be loading on in. Game 2 is going to be taking place on Gresfan.
And speaking of Gresfan, that is where game number 2 is going to be taking place on. Wait, you just said that. Hey, the bottom right-hand corner of the map of Gresfan. The map that game is. Yeah. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have our blue Terran player coming out from the land of Korea. He's got layers. He's an ogre, but he is teamless. I'm going to give it up for GuMiho.
Is this the evolution of the Yaku intro? Where you're like, and this map is going to be taking place on Gresfan. We're also on Gresfan. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gresfan, we have the Taiwanese Protoss player representing Starlight Twinkle. This time, getting proxied. It is Nice. On Gresfan.
Yeah, getting proxy on Gresfan. You know what, Gresfan? It's a pretty good map to go for a proxy like this,
Uh-huh. We're going full steel mode right now is what's happening. It's oh god. As we do have that proxy racks here from GuMiho, only a single one, so very similar to what we saw from Future, right? Where we should be seeing a Reaper, we should be seeing a Bunker as well. Not the most committed proxy, but it can kind of lay the groundwork, lay the foundation for things to slowly get out of control here when it comes to follow-up.
Yeah, and you know what? This bunker, or this barrack, sorry, isn't too far away from the natural base. The SCV isn't dipping in just yet. GuMiho kind of knows it's a little early for any sort of expansion to be thrown down, but now that he does, he's getting ready for it. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to lose any health unnecessarily to this probe before the Reaper gets out.
Oh, exactly. As we also have a Zealot first here, so Nice is taking this very seriously. We have the bunker being thrown down, but the Zealot has already arrived. Despite this Reaper being here, it's very possible that the Zealot can get a delay and a denial on this bunker as he ignores the Reaper. Oh.
Yep, it's all about the micro here from either player, really. The Zealot is pretty badly bruised, but the SCV is one hit away from death. The SCV will live, and the Zealot will die. Nicely done here by GuMiho, but he will have to pack up and cancel that bunker in the end. SCV just doesn't have enough health on it.
Oh, but we have a second SCV rocking up as well. That Stalker taking a lot of hits from the one Marine. Very nice control out of GuMiho, just getting as much damage as he can out of what little units he has. But he is going to back off. The Stalker will survive, and we are transitioning back at home straight into that factory, then into that expansion.
Interesting choice from GuMiho here. He actually hasn't lifted his bunker back home yet. So he went for a Reaper into 2 Marines into another Reaper. I'd be too surprised if he sends another SCV across the map just to try to commit to this.
Yeah, it's very possible here as we make one additional Reaper before we lift up, and looks like we're going for a bit of a cheeky scout with this Rax. Meanwhile, Nice sending out his own probe across the map as well. Gonna try and sneak out, gonna try and get a scout up here and figure out what exactly GuMiho is up to.
Yeah, and of course, if there's any opportunity, I'm sure he wouldn't hesitate to throw down a pylon either.
Yeah, as that's already a lot of gateways here. 3 gateways for Nice. The Rax is going to dive in though and get a full scout of the main base, get confirmation of the initial tech as well as the production. Oh, never mind.
Yeah. Even get some high ground vision here with his barracks. So, yeah, Cyclone going to get a free... Gonna be getting a free Stalker just like that.
Very nicely done. So he gets a Stalker first, then gets a scout off, gets confirmation of the Oracles coming out across the map, and should be getting ready back at home and sending his Hellion back to make sure that the Oracle doesn't get out of control.
Yeah, he's just waiting for it at this point. GuMiho covering just about every single base he can up. I like how the Cyclone completely missed the probe.
I mean, it kind of makes sense.
Oh
yeah,
my
not
God. Important, you know?
Oh.
Well, we thought it wasn't important, but it can block some very, very valuable add-ons just like so. These are some pretty massive delays, all things considered. If GuMiho wanted to play Bio, Stim is going to be very delayed. If he wanted to, I don't know, throw down add-on swap of his factory, his tanks are going to be delayed as well.
Yeah, GuMiho punished so hard. So that Cyclone intentionally didn't kill the probe because he didn't want to waste the lock-on. He didn't want to waste the lock-on and allow the Oracle to dive in. But here we go. The Oracles do get across the map. The first Cyclone is going to go down, but these Oracles, they take a lot of hits.
Yeah, both Oracles will go down for the cost of 1 Cyclone in the end there. All in all, I think it's a trade that went better for GuMiho.
Yeah, a much better trade for GuMiho. His production was delayed though because of those pylons, but he was able to catch both of those Oracles. So overall, I agree. As actually, Nice, he made a 3rd Oracle and he's making a 4th Oracle as well.
There must always be 2 Oracles on the map, is what Nice is potentially thinking right now. Nice, you know, his own production isn't too far behind all of this. He is getting a RoboBay now, so even though he did trade a little bit poorly in the early game, it's not like he's really being punished for it just yet.
Yeah, exactly. As he's working on his 3rd base, he's working on his splash damage, as you were saying, and from here, what I will say is that Nice, unfortunately, he doesn't really have too much of a presence on the map. Like, he doesn't have any Blink Stalkers, he doesn't have a mass amount of Phoenixes. I guess he has these Oracles that have been rebuilt, but he has to be very careful with them as, I mean, he's already just sunk so much resources into Oracles to begin with. He can't be too wasteful with the ones that he's rebuilt.
Yeah, Cold Phoenix Colossus is on the way now for Nice. It seems to be his go-to in PvT, but like you said, he wants to be focusing entirely on producing Phoenixes for that. He doesn't want to have to remake his Oracles. His Oracles are useful. The Raven of Protoss. You want to have at least one.
Oh, speaking of, there we go. Cyclone does get CC. The Oracle's diving into the mineral line. Damage is being done. Again, GuMiho was not expecting the Oracles to be rebuilt like this.
And it pays off pretty well here. GuMiho now going to try to get a lock on. Going to try to punish the rebuild here. But the lift with the Phoenix will put a stop to that.
Very nicely done by Nice, able to save those Oracles in the end, but now the push is upon us. We have a tank, we've got some Marauders, we have plenty of reinforcements coming out as well. GuMiho is going to be hitting with Stim and Combat Shields, as well as +1. Do we have any splash damage? It looks like we have one Colossus. We're about to have two Colossus here in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, plus Thermal Lance as well. Nice has a really good defensive position right now, but with some good enough positioning, GuMiho might be able to overcome that.
Oh, yes, he does a scan, and I don't know, upon seeing the second Colossus, I feel like GuMiho probably is thinking better of this attack, especially with only one tank. Yeah, GuMiho is going to just be posturing here. Back at home, he's getting his third base up and running, he's getting it saturated as well. Is going to try to poke in, but all the Colossus, they just push forward.
Yeah, just like so. Tank gets immediately lifted up. GuMiho, you've overstayed your welcome, man. You've got to get out.
Yeah, again, GuMiho, he was just posturing. I'm pretty sure he never intended to fight. I'm pretty sure he just wanted to pose a threat here to Nice and make him feel uncomfortable. But alas, Nice, he just pushed on forward, cleaned up a lot of that army, and now Nice is in a pretty good position.
Yeah, very, very good position. I mean, he's sitting. His splash damage hasn't been taken out, or rather, he hasn't lost any high-tech units here. Hasn't even lost any of his tier 2 units, Phoenix or an Oracle, ever since the start of this game. Or ever since the first and second Oracle went down earlier.
Yeah, exactly. He's been doing a great job of preserving his Phoenix count. We can see that GuMiho has eyes on both fourth base locations, and he does delay the fourth base twice. But here we go. The fourth is now going to be on the way from Nice, not too far behind, as GuMiho is getting into Viking production, getting into his bio. Ghost Academy is already done as well for those EMPs, so pretty well-rounded army coming out from GuMiho. But after losing his initial push, like, he doesn't have as much kind of staying power at the moment.
Yeah, he's lost a lot of his momentum earlier on. He wasn't planning on having to. Try to outbuild Nice at this position. Wasn't planning to, needing to have a fourth base anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly, and now he's kind of forced into a more passive game, at least initially. Once the ghosts come out, I'm sure GuMiho would love to be a little bit more active. As, oh, it looks like a mine shot is going to be going off. We do have a couple of mines sprinkled throughout the map, so Nice has to be very careful with his Phoenixes.
Yeah, it's pretty good use of the mines at this point. GuMiho knows that he doesn't have to worry about any Zelts or anything like that for the time being, so he might as and he can't really go for mine drops with that many Phoenixes out, so might as well use them as spotters. Ooh, very quick.
Yeah, as we do get the revelation, and one of those mines is going to be going down, and as you're saying, really great spotters for GuMiho overall, as he does fan out a couple of lings. Looks like he gets eyes on the fourth base location. He knows where it's been taken, and oh my god, Nice! Now that he has his fourth, Sky Toss. Why not?
Because why the hell not? Yeah. Sky Toss, he's getting his ship upgrades as well. GuMiho doesn't recognize this. There is a window right now for GuMiho, but he just needs to recognize it and to punish Nice. And so far, Nice isn't giving him any indication that he's teching up this hard. That's 5 Colossus.
I was about to say, like, how do you punish this, though? Because, sure, Nice doesn't have a gateway army, right? Like, there's no Charge Lots, there's no Archons, there's no Blink Stalkers, but the value here with just 5 Colossus and 3 Disruptors and an Immortal as well, this is just such a beefy army. It's hard to punish.
You know what? I believe in the power of the EMP.
That's what it's gonna have to be. Like, if we land a good EMP here and we are able to avoid the Purification Overs and maybe target down the Disruptors, then maybe we can break this. But if we can't, then Nice is gonna be able to successfully transition to Skytoss, as he's just amassing Phoenixes for the time being and going into Phoenix range.
Interesting. He might not. Well, eventually he's gonna have the ability to go into Tempest, but Yeah, he doesn't really need to right now. He doesn't scout any Liberators out in the map just yet. He's just keeping his options open, you know?
Yeah.
Phoenixes are a very versatile unit at this stage of the game.
Yeah, it's so interesting, right? Like, there we go. There's the carry. I was like, is he really just going to mass Phoenixes? And now he's switching into carrier production as we speak to get into that late game. With all these Phoenixes,
he can only produce one carrier.
he's got one on the way, and I'm sure he's going to make some more. Is working on some charge lots as well. GuMiho, he does see the Phoenixes. He does see that they're out of position. He's going to be rotating over towards the south.
Nice is remaking his the Phoenixes he lost, by the way. He's maxed out right now.
And we can see Nice just not keeping up with the movement of his opponents, and the 5th base does get cancelled. GuMiho thinking about maybe rotating towards the 4th, but now the Colossus are keeping up with the army, so GuMiho has to be very careful with how he engages.
Yeah, he scans, he sees what he's up against, and he does not want he doesn't really want to tangle with that just yet. He only has 2 Liberators with this army, but the Vikings do dip in. There's actually not a lot of anti-air here, only a handful of Stalkers, and there's no shield battery in range. A lot of these, or just about every single one of these Colossus are going to go down. Okay, no. Only 2 of them, but hey, 2 Colossus going down makes a huge difference in the pushing potential of the Terran player.
The Phoenixes, they were dragged out of position. They were dealing with a Liberator that was getting a couple of probe kills. I think 11 probes went down to that one Liberator. And the Colossus as well, just because the Phoenixes were kept busy. And now we can push on forward. Another really good EMP on the Phoenixes.
Yeah, but the Liberator does go down, and GuMiho no longer has that anchor where he can retreat to, or where he can zone away the Protoss army. Still getting some pretty good trades, but yeah, he can't really stick around much longer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he picked off, quickly checking the units last tab, 11 Phoenixes and 2 Colossi went down. But as Colossus are going down, we are making 2 at a time, and we have carriers on the way as well.
Now, what is the golden ratio, though, Light, of carriers to Colossus? Because there's a very real possibility that he overmakes one of those units, and his overall army composition isn't that efficient. Oh, the Purification Novas come into play, though, and when you have that many, that much splash damage, I guess it doesn't matter how efficient your unit composition is.
Yeah, exactly. As we see GuMiho lose everything on the ground. I was about to say that ideally you don't want too many Colossus and you want more Disruptors, and we see why. A couple of good Novas and you can just annihilate a ground army. The carriers as well do stand strong, and now GuMiho is on the back foot. He does have a good economy though, especially with these orbitals finishing up. Oh my god.
Yeah. He's gonna have mules for days. And a nuke.
And a nuke as well. So that's something to bear in mind, is that it looks like Nice, he's really relying on this death ball of an army. And what I mean by that is that he hasn't been harassing. He hasn't been touching the economy of GuMiho at all this game. So GuMiho has been allowed to just spread his wings and be as economic as possible, as greedy as possible with all these bases. Again, Nice, it looks like the way that he wants to win this game is just with one big win, with one big fight.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of nice that we're used to, isn't it? He doesn't like taking any unnecessary risks. He knows that he doesn't need map control as long as he's able to build up a very, very powerful army. You know, he would much rather have his opponent push into him and then go for one really strong counterattack. But like you said, because of how passive he's been, GuMiho can trade a lot better than he otherwise would be able to.
Yeah, exactly. As the economy to sustain these losses. Meanwhile, we have 4 starports on the way. We have 18 Vikings, almost going mass Viking here. And is there an answer to these Vikings? That is the question. How good is the anti-air? We do have Storm on the way. I do think that Storms and Archons are going to be a really important factor here for Nice. Without them, the DPS of the Phoenixes, of the carriers, of the Stalkers, I don't know if it's really going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for GuMiho to throw down a couple of BCs at this point.
He could go into BC, he could go into Yamato as well. Until then, there it is!
You love to see it. That's what all the starports were for. He was sitting on 180 supply for a while. It's like, you're building up for something, aren't you?
Yeah.
That's 4 BCs to round off this army.
There it is. BC's Fusion Cores are on the Yamato is on the way as well. The Phoenix does get a bit of a scat off, does confirm the starports with the tech lab, so this could either be for like Ravens or BCs. BCs would be the logical conclusion here for Nice, as he is now pushing out across the map. He is now maxed.
Yeah, the thing that worries me about Nice though is that he's getting neither Tempest nor Tempest upgrades, which is what you really want against BCs. Well, I guess there aren't that many BCs out on the map just yet, but once GuMiho's supply dips, you know he's going to be remaking that. You know he's going to be making up for it with more BCs.
Oh yeah, really will be. Meanwhile, speaking of, Marines and Marauders are going to be going down. We replace them with more Vikings and Battle Cruisers. GuMiho going full Sky Terran with Ghost support with those EMPs. Good EMP on the Phoenixes.
Yeah, just about every single one of them losing their shields. High Templar now very well spread out. Nice, interestingly enough, still reluctant to build a Warp Prism. So, yeah, these High Templar are a little bit more vulnerable. They are a little bit exposed, but he's doing a decent job of keeping them back and spreading them out so that GuMiho has to utilize more EMPs to take him out.
Yeah, the High Templar, they're exposed against like tanks and EMPs, but there are no tanks on the ground here. Just those ghosts are going to be threatening them. So because that Nice doesn't have too much to worry about, we do now have tanks coming back into production. So it looks like GuMiho has recognized their value, and you mentioned it before. There it is. Tempests are on the way for Nice. So he himself is also refining his army.
But you know what else is going on? BCs are sneaking around in the south of the map. Yamato finished up a while ago.
Yamato is done. A couple of his stack defense is going to be going down. Probes are being targeted down as well. We're going to be forcing a massive reaction. As that happens, GuMiho is sharking around. He's looking for some damage. He's looking for a way in.
Yeah, catching any of these straight Tempests would be huge. That was a very good pickup there for GuMiho, killing that Nexus. And now Nuke's about to land in, I believe, the freshest base of Nice right now.
No reaction.
There's no pull, there's no pull, there's no pull, there's no pull! And every single probe will go down. Nice has a decent bank right now, but yeah, it's not big enough to, that he could really give up a mineral line like this.
And he's being pulled apart. He loses a mineral line, he loses more workers here, he loses a 6th base towards the south as well. GuMiho with a tri-pronged attack, threatening with his Vikings, going for the nuke, going for the BC harass. He barely lost anything, and Nice may have a bank, but for now he is having a hard time keeping up. His main army is still looking really strong though. We mentioned it before, Nice wants one big fight, but GuMiho isn't giving him that fight that he wants. GuMiho is doing a great job at pulling him apart.
Yeah, GuMiho has recognized that Nice has spent this entire game building up as powerful of a death ball as possible, but he also knows that that death ball isn't very mobile. Like you said, he's just pulling Nice apart, picking off bases, one by one.
And he's doing it again. You know, nuke into the center, BC's towards the south, main army towards the north. Can Nice keep up? Can he minimize his losses this time?
Well, he can attack in one direction at a time. The nuke will still land. Little bit of a delayed evacuation there from Nice, so 11 probes go down. This base is going to go up, and the BCs are going to take out yet another mineral line. Nice has to spend his bank right now, making his army, and he's going to have a lot. He is going to have a super maxed army. You'll got to give him that, but this is all he has now.
Exactly.
He's got no more bank. He's got no more income.
For the second time, GuMiho comes in with 3 prongs, completely pulls apart his opponent. One BC does go down, but we can teleport away. And now the question becomes, did GuMiho just poke the bear? Because Nice, he just lost, how many, like 30 plus probes? He lost more bases as well. Nice does have a maxed out army. He has to move out here and now. He has to counterattack, and when he does, he has to end the game.
That's not computing in his head. It's going against his instincts, but he knows that this is the only way he can win the game now. He is pushing across the map, slowly but surely, but GuMiho, he's been scanning, he's been keeping his eyes on top of this army. He has been preparing back home. Look at all of these missile turrets. GG is called, and GuMiho will be taking that series 2-0 after a very slow and very methodical game number 2.
GG, well played. It was almost like you said to Nice there, look at all those missile turrets, and he saw, he looked, and he tapped out. Oh my god.
You hurt me all the way from Taiwan.
He did. He did. GG, well played. Very well done there by GuMiho, making full use of his Sky Terran army. Not just that, but just full use of all the tools he had at his disposal to just pull apart his opponent, to just pick him off base after base, as you were pointing out. And yeah, nice. There just was no option other than to counterattack. And when he did counterattack, when he pushed out across the map, by the time he got to the bases of GuMiho was doing such a great job at kiting with his Vikings. I don't know if you saw, EMPs were landing on everything, Vikings were kiting, every single Phoenix went down, and just like that, Nice, he like plummeted like 30 supply then and there before the fight even happened.
That's almost unheard of to do against Phoenixes that have range. Very impressive stuff here from GuMiho on Gressvan. He wanted to end the game with a timing attack. He got completely deflected, and then we had a lot of passivity for about 15-18 minutes. But oh man, those final 6 or so minutes of that game, things just ramped up. Not even 6 minutes, like the final 3 minutes of that game, we went from 0 to 11 in no time flat. GuMiho did anyway.
Yeah, things escalated very quickly, and yeah, GuMiho just making great use of his army. Nice, just not getting the fight that he wanted, not getting the engagement that he wanted, despite having all those carriers and tempests and storms. Fun fact, he had like what, 4 high tempo with his army. Did he ever really storm the army?
He had one storm towards the end there.
Yeah,
right before he tapped out.
Like, I'm even talking about like the entire game. Like, we just didn't really get to see much of his spells at all. Like, it just, yeah, he just wasn't really able to fight the way that he wanted to.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how well GuMiho was positioning his army, right? That he never had his army in a stormable position. You know, Nice was being very conservative with his storms, to be fair, but yeah, I don't think the storms were going to do too much there, other than maybe zone the Vikings away for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, exactly. And alas, in the end, GG were very well played there by GuMiho to take that series in a very powerful and commanding fashion, and he's going to be waiting in the semifinals. He is our first semifinalist. He's gonna be waiting for either DRG or Ragnarok.
Oh, finally get to cast a Zerg player.